everyone on YouTube. How are we doing? Let's get both screens up. Let's see the chat. Triple Captain Haaland, not for me this week. I just don't think the upside's there for it this week. When we have doubts about minutes, when we have doubts also about the City's form. They haven't been great, lads, have they? They really haven't. Is Haaland starting? We don't know yet. I think he will. I've used my wildcard today. Who have you picked on wildcard, bro? Who have you picked on wildcard? Good morning, everyone on YouTube, by the way. Good morning. What should I do, says Football Bailey. I mean, to be honest, Bailey, you could just leave it this week and do your transfers next week if you fancy it. I don't think you have to do anything harsh. Going to get Sharda for Rodgers as a 1 week punt, then wildcard next week. Oh, yes, I seen your comment about that, bro, on one of my videos this week. I don't mind it, to be fair. I don't. I really don't. Is Nunez starting? I think he could be benched or not in the squad, to be honest, mate. Let me have a quick look, because there was some news about him having that. I think it's an illness he has rather than an injury, isn't it? Where is it? Yeah, Mateus Nunes was ill last time. He's still ill, so he remains a doubt. Yeah, Mateus Nunes is still a doubt, mate. He's still a doubt. No one Mbeumo was crazy. I don't think it's crazy. Haaland news, there's none. I feel like everyone is getting below 40 points this week, says Zebby. It's one of those weeks, isn't it? What rank are you? I'm the high end of 800k. But I'm slowly getting down. Well, I say down. Up. I mean down to sort of the low numbers. But we had a good week last week and the week before. Kevin Sharda is decent, yeah. I think with Bournemouth, we really need to be paying attention to their fixture run after this week, and I suppose even this week. Liverpool at home is not even bad. Why do you have Van Dijk and Evan Nielsen at the same time? It's just you can't avoid fixture clashes every single week. It's impossible. I do think that what was I going to say? I do think it's worth saving transfers to like get the optimal players in. You can't always just use your transfers on not having fixture clashes. There are situations absolutely where you can benefit by having two players that play each other. United hurting clean sheets. They could do this week, yeah. I've got Bruno to cover though, hopefully. Dorgu or Alderete, who do I bench? I'd bench Dorgu. FPL Tom says, nice. Tom did say he was going to, yeah, hello Tom. How are we doing, mate? Nice and early stream from Tom though today. Welcome everyone who's came over. FPL Tom Raid, how are we doing, guys? How are we doing? Really appreciate the raid, Tom, as always. You're an absolute legend. Is Bruno G confirmed out? Didn't see any press conference info. The press conference info wasn't helpful for your decision, mate, to be honest. It was the case that, Eddie Howe didn't give us too much. He was hopeful that Bruno would be playing, but the swelling has seemed to be bad for him. It's tough. I would play him if you have him and hope he plays. I think if he's got that type of swelling on his ankle, it's likely that he's not going to play. And like if he doesn't play, he just won't be in the squad. But I would start him if you have him. Why not? I think it's not a bad fixture with it being at home. Any Newcastle fixture that's away from home, I'm just not keen on. They're terrible. I am saying that with the Sunderland jumper on though, so take that with a grain of salt. Footballer 7 says, first time on the channel, bench 1, Rodgers, Semenyo, Wirtz, Mbeumo, and Gordon. Ooh. I would probably look to Rodgers. I think Newcastle are strong at home, but Gordon's minutes could be low. Could be. Will Njai play, says Davo. I think he'll start, yes. I think he comes straight back in. If Bruno J ain't starting, should I just put DCL and get a front three? You could do, Yusuf, yeah. You could do. I've come over from Tom, watched one of these before, and was really good. Appreciate that, Marcus. You are a legend, mate. Should I sell Foden? I think, honestly, with Foden, it is really dependent on your team. I think there are situations where you just play him this week with some teams, and there are some situations where, like me and FPL Tom, we have sold him this week. It helps us longer term, and I think that's just how things go. It's a decision that isn't set in stone, but it also has personal opinion mixed into it. Do you think he gets good minutes this week? Do you think his expected minutes in the medium to long term are good? I don't personally think that, and algorithms agree with me. So therefore, I've sold him this week. I didn't think I'd be saying that, but looking at all the news we had yesterday with Phil Foden, it just doesn't feel good this week and for the medium to long. So for me this week, Foden sadly had to go. He definitely could do really well this week, but yeah, that is the case with Foden this week. And in general with FPL, we have to be making good decisions, and I think I've came to a good conclusion with Foden this week. Bruno G or Rogers says blessings on TikTok. I would say Bruno G and play him. If he doesn't play, if he doesn't start, sorry, I don't think he'll be on the bench and come on with the injury. So I would take that punt this week and have Rogers first on your bench. Who do you start between Bruno G, Malik Chow, and Alderete? Ooh, I would go Alderete. I mean, you're saying two Newcastle players, and I'm wearing this. I'm sorry, it might seem biased, but I think Alderete has the better chance of a clean sheet this week. He's got better defensive contributions. If you do fancy Newcastle at home, which I tend to like quite a lot, Malik Chow's pretty good. Bruno G is a bit of a different one, though. We don't know about that injury. I might wildcard now. When are you wildcarding? Do not wildcard this week, I don't think. I think game week 24 is the far better game week to wildcard. Yo, it's Harry Potter. Yo, what's up? Man United, we'll cook Arsenal. I don't see them cooking Arsenal. I see it being a tight game, though. FPL Tom says, no worries, brother. Legend, mate. Absolute legend. FPL Tom Raid. I love you with Tavernier last week. Yeah, Tavernier was great for me last week. Pushed me into a green arrow. About a 10% green arrow, actually. I was really happy with that. Njai or XP? Who's XP? Is Lewis Miley going to play? I would imagine he'd play this week. I think he's earned himself a lot of flowers at right back. I think he'll play right back. Or he even could be in the midfield. Now, we have that slight issue with Bruno G, but I do think Bruno G will be okay to play. Football 07 again says, best 6 million midfielder to put on a wild card. Ooh. Elliot Anderson, I'm going to say. I think he's quality. Like, the fixtures for Nottingham Forest are actually pretty good coming up. And obviously, we see the fact that Elliot Anderson plays a lot of minutes, of course, but has those defensive contributions pretty much every single week. Maybe, potentially, hopefully, could be on pens. Now, Morgan Gibbs-White has missed 2. And they've been pretty bad pens as well, so we'll see with that one, eh? What do you think of Dorgu? I think if you're getting Manchester United assets this week, I think Fernandes is fine. Bruno Fernandes is fine. And Mbuemo's okay. Dorgu, it isn't the case for me. Ahmad's back. And Mbuemo's back. What type of formation are we playing? I don't know. I just see the minutes being ever so slightly impacted with those players being back. I Never Sleep sent a rose before. Thank you very much. Never Sleep. I really appreciate that, mate. Really appreciate that, bro. Haaland might get rested. He might, but I doubt it. I really do. Ethan says, I'm rolling and we'll have 4 free transfers next week. Foden and Bruno G out for Bruno Fernandes and Enzo. They seem like really good transfers, actually. Is Lafay a good option? Harry, of course he is. Of course. Of course. We love Enzo Lafay. We love him. Eustace, any injuries, unless any injuries crop up. Yeah, injuries could happen, bro. Injuries could happen, bro. Captain Ballard, let's go, dude. Let's go. Torn on Foden, if you had to swap, would you pick about the same price range? I mean, the big transfer this week is Foden to Bruno Fernandes. It's the most popular one. I think it makes the most sense if you're really keen on, moving him on. I personally have done this week because I'm not too sure he starts. We have doubts about Haaland as well, which is a shame. But I think Haaland will play. The thing with Foden this week, guys, is yes, he could do well this week, but my worries are not just this week. They go medium to long term as well, which isn't fun. It really isn't. Saka to Bruno Fernandes for a 4-point hit? No, I'd keep Saka. Saka for me, if we end up getting the news of a double game week in Game at 26, Saka's a triple captain option. Gabriel's a triple captain option. I'll be holding Arsenal assets because we don't know if that double is going to be placed in 26, and the most likely fact is it will be. Arsenal just need to do a job against Chelsea, which I think will happen. Thoughts on my midfield wildcard? Fernandes, Anderson, Palmer, and Rice. Palmer's an interesting one. Also, that's double Chelsea midfield, which is really... I mean, the fixture's there for it, bro. I don't mind it, honestly. I really don't. I'm not as keen on Rice as other people, I would say. But I still think with the minutes being really great, he's not a bad option still. He's getting a bit more expensive, though, isn't he? Who's worth bringing in for a minus 4-point hit this week, says Jay. I think it was JP who asked that. Or JRP. I wouldn't say anyone really is worth a -4 in any given week. We have to sort of really be sure with -4s that you're getting those points back, and a lot of the time it's too risky to do so. There are some weeks where the fixtures make sense. Maybe there's a double game week where obviously you can make that -4 move, but that's kind of where we're at the moment. Best Foden replacement for 9.3. It would be Bruno Fernandes for me, mate. Bezo says, missed one more, but we'll get Bezo first. Play one, Cash, Chow, or Rodon. I'd play Cat. Would I play Cash? Newcastle. No, I'd play Malik Chow. I'd play. Surely you play Rodon over Timber because you think Bruno will return. It's not the case that I think Bruno will return. I've got Bruno for the medium to long term because he just, for me, is the best midfielder you can buy in FPL right now. Braden says, hello, Mugs. How you doing, Braden? Yeah, so it's not the case that I expect Bruno to be returning this week. What I expect for him really as a minimum is defensive contributions. So yeah, it's not the case I think he's going to score or assist this week. It's more of a longer term move. Saka or Palmer on a wild card. I'd have Saka. Well, if it's this week, I'd have Saka on a wild card. If it's next week, I'd have Palmer on a wild card and Saka. Sorry if I'm missing some of the questions on TikTok. The chat is going very fast today. If you could do me a favor on TikTok, though, double tap that screen. Let's get the likes up on today's stream. Is Bruno G playing, says Hick. I think he could be starting this week. Yeah, I would give him a start. Foden a good differential now. I wouldn't say so, no. I wouldn't say so. I expect his minutes to be down in the next few weeks. Why Haaland captain? Because he's playing Wolves at home, and I think he could start this week. In fact, it's not the case I think he could start. He normally starts, and I don't see a world where he doesn't start, to be honest. Will Cherky be starting? I struggle to see Cherky starting, but if there's anyone to start over Foden this week, I think it would be Cherky, because I do think it will be Doku, Semenyo, and then Cherky or Foden in the midfield with Haaland up front. We also could see Marmoush on the left. We also could see Marmoush up front. It's one of those ones where it's super tough. Haaland needs service. Haaland does need service. He needs some good one-on-one midfielders on the wings to get balls into the box for him, to get balls at his feet. And sadly, that's not Foden. For me, that's Doku on the left. What's your overall points, bro? I don't really do overall points, mate. I don't look at it. But I am sort of top end of 800k at the moment. I'm not sure what points that puts me on, though, bro. I'm really sorry. How you doing, says Braden. I'm doing good this morning. I'm doing good. Check your IG, bro. Wildcard. I don't have time to check my IG this morning, Muzzamo, but if you do drop a question, I'll keep a lookout for it, mate. Appreciate the gifts as well from Nico and Muzzamo. Legends, mate. We have Charlie Walker asking, I'm wildcarding and unsure whether to go Rodgers or Wirtz or someone else at 8.3. I wouldn't go, I don't think I'd go Wirtz this week. At 8.3, who would I be considering? I think if you've got haven't got Enzo or someone like that in, I would definitely go that route. Wirtz doesn't seem a bad option. It doesn't seem a bad option. Bruno Fernandes or Wirtz? I mean, this week it would be Wirtz, but longer term, Bruno Fernandes. What happened to Tavernier? He had a bit of an injury, mate, to his hamstring. Apparently, it's not a bad injury, so what I've had to do is sort of just keep him on the bench this week instead of selling him, which is a bit of a pain, but I don't mind it particularly. Selgu for Thiago / Calvert-Lewin or roller transfer have 2.6 in the bank and 1 free transfer. I plan to get Bruno in 24 if Foden plays against Wolves. I don't mind that. I think if you can afford Thiago or DCL, I'd probably get Thiago for the long term. Oh, my nose. And Buemo, good Foden replacement. He's not that bad. I do think I still prefer Bruno by a good distance. Do I start Tarkowski or Anderson? Ooh, that's hard. Tarkowski or Anderson? Do you know what? I'd go Anderson. I think Leeds could score, but Brighton for me are a bit of a weird team at the moment. I'd go Anderson. Timber or Alderete? Timber. Alderete still is a really great asset this week. I think he holds really great value. Hello, mate. How are you doing, Zaffron, mate? How are you doing, brother? Evan Nielsen or Junior? For me, Evan Nielsen for 7 is worth paying, but if you want a cheaper player, Krupi's still fine. Krupi should be playing. What happens if I've now got 4 City players? So I think when you go to use a transfer, it tells you to get rid of one of them, which is a bit of a pain, to be honest. It really is. But this week, it isn't too bad to have all those City assets, I would say. Chalobah as my 4th, or Bruno G. I think that's said. Do you know what? I don't think Crystal Sar's back. Mateta could leave. Do you know what? I'll probably go Chalobah. I'll probably say Chalobah this week instead of Bruno G. Thoughts on Reinders? Reinders for me is probably not playing this week. He's probably not playing. Best striker after Haaland and Thiago. Ooh. You could argue if Ekitike gets minutes, it will be him, but I don't think that's the case. Bro, you can't keep riding the triple Arsenal defence train. Nick, what's happened in the last 2 weeks with the triple Arsenal defence? What's happened? Tell me. Go look at their points and tell me. Nah, to be honest, mate, it could be taken away and I get Saka the next few weeks maybe with the the double game week and the triple captain strat, but we'll see. Is this your team? It is, mate. Yeah, it is. Bruno G is flagged. Him or Foden to start or start Voltemada. I would probably just start. If you've got Foden, start him. Because if he starts the game and does well, you'll be really happy to have him in your team because a lot of people have sold it, include myself this week. So I would definitely be starting Foden this week. With Bruno G, it's a tough call. I would say it's a really tough call. I think he could be playing. I think a bit of swelling, you can easily sort that out over a few day periods. I think he'll be okay at play. Joshua's in the chat. Morning, Mogs. How are you, mate? I'm great, Joshua. How are you, brother? How are you? Was that say I've just captained Lucas Perez? Mogs, Kelleher or Sanchez? Ooh, this week. I would go with the home fixture there. I would go Kelleher. I think the rotation of Kelleher and Sanchez, by the way, folks, is an unbelievable goalkeeper rotation. How many points are you getting? Hopefully enough for a green arrow. That's all I'm asking this week. I think the team looks okay, but it's not the strongest it's been. Sharder or Semenyo for a 1 week punt. For Rodgers or Phil Foden. I think Semenyo is decent for a 1 week punt. I also like Sharder as well. Both decent this week, but Semenyo does have the fixture there. If you are on TikTok, make sure you double tap on that screen as well. Let's see if we can get 10k likes here. Right now, I've benched Rodgers, Bruno G for Alderete and O'Reilly. For me, O'Reilly, I would play Bruno G over O'Reilly this week. But then he could start. It's tough with Ryan Nori back. The illness to Mateus Nunes, could he be back? It's so difficult. I've got Roofs and Robbie captain. Sunderland 3-0 win. Trust me. I hope it is, mate. I hope it is. I was good until I remembered it's that time of the week where I have to sort my terrible team out again. Joshua, I thought your team was all right. Did you not have a decent week last week, Joshua? I thought you did. It's 5-2-3, stupid. Depends who you've got in your team, mate. Depends who you got in your team. Ideal pick this week. The ideal pick. I think one of the best transfers you can make, in my opinion, is getting Enzo Fernandez in. I think getting Enzo Fernandez in is a really good transfer this week. Mukiele good this week? Yes. Yes. Although I think he's getting too expensive. I think if you're looking for a Sunderland defender, you can seriously look at Alderete now. So annoying that Tavernier is injured. It is. It is. I'm in the same boat as you, mate. Johan, I'm in the same boat as you. I would have loved to play him this week. I would have loved it. It probably would have saved me a transfer. It really would have, but hey, we're going for it. I got 36 points. Did you? I thought you would have had a better week, mate, because your team's not that bad. Enzo for Tavernier or Wilson? Ooh, probably Tavernier because of the injury. But I'm keeping Tavernier personally. I spent 8 points on transfers this week, and I'm not going to make any for 2 weeks now. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Sell Foden, so Nico says, sell Foden, my team, Kelleher, Gabriel, Mukiele, Virgil van Dijk, Semenyo, Foden, Bert, Xhaka, Ekitike, Haaland, and Thiago. Nice team, Nico. Nice one. Ahmad says, how's it going, mate? Best Watkins replacement. If you don't have Thiago, for me it'd be Thiago. I would consider strongly an Evan Nielsen. I think he's going under the radar massively here. Apart from that, you could go DCL if you want to go cheaper, Krupi if you want to go even cheaper. Those assets seem decent for me. Andrew Tor sent in a message, sending a rose, sorry. Thank you, Andrew. Really appreciate that, man. See if I can find the question. If you do have a question, Andrew, do drop it in. Malik Chow or Anderson. This week it would be for me, probably Malik Chow. But he's got a difficult fixture there. It is at home, is why I'm saying this, though. Anderson is still a really good shout, especially with the fact, it's an easier fixture. It's at home. Defensive contributions better. I think he's a great option this week. PK and Eddie sending roses as well. Appreciate you guys sending the gifts. Let's see if I can find a message from you folks in the chat. I do think it was one from PK. Will Gahey start? I think Gahey starts, yes. Absolutely. Eddie, if you have a question, do drop it down. Where are Orange and Connor? I don't know. They might just be a bit later. It's an early stream today. It's an early stream. Do you reckon it's stupid if I get rid of Haaland soon? I wouldn't call it stupid, but I would say definitely keep him. I don't think selling Haaland offers too much benefit right now. I mean, realistically, selling Haaland, you're just looking for a bit of spare money to invest in other players. The other players to invest in aren't worth investing in right now. Saka and Palmer. Do you really want to be buying them? I don't think so. I don't think so. Eddie sending in the message here. Let's see Eddie's message. Where's it at? How have I lost it so quickly there? 2 seconds, Eddie. Let's see if I can find it. Bobby's message is there. Captain Thiago, what do you think? I don't think it's bad. He's my vice captain this week. Eddie's message, there we go. Should I start Alderete or Bruno G? For me, I'd start Bruno G and hope he plays. I think it's a decent enough fixture for him, even though it's Villa. But Alderete, if you want to be really safe, because he will play. He will play. Think Mateus Nunes and Bruno G start. I think Bruno G starts likely. With Mateus Nunes, I'm not too sure. I think that was George as well sending the rose before. Thank you very much, George. Hopefully the shift yesterday wasn't too bad without us. Football 07 says, my defence is Cash Senesi, Gabriel, Michele, Chalobah. Should I put Anderson on the wild card? And who do I sell to put him in? Ooh, I'll just keep your defence like that. Defence looks strong like that. I'll just say like that. If you need a defender in the next few weeks, Anderson could be brought in with some of the good fixtures, but for me, that's a decent one, Football 07. Take out Haaland? No. So this week, at the moment, I'm going to go Raya, Gehi, Alderete, Virgil van Dijk, Tarkowski, Wilson, Foden, Sobosai, Haaland, Ekatike, Thiago, Subs van der Ven, but Stach, Vandenberg, Stach, and Tavernier. Before transfers, is this the best lineup? I think so. He's not starting, mate. Take him out. No, I wouldn't take him out if he's not starting. I'll just not captain him. Morning says Mystic. Njai or Caicedo long term? Long term, probably Njai, because I think Chelsea's fixtures run out quite quick, but they are much better. Bench boost active. Nice, bro. Haaland isn't starting. Send me a source that says that and I'll believe you. Stach and Tav are both flagged, says Joshua. Yeah, both flagged. I wasn't sure that Stach was flagged, but Tav's definitely flagged because I have him on my team. It's probably the right move for you to do that lineup then, bro. Best Watkins replacement. It would just go down the price list for me. So if you don't have Thiago, get Thiago. Evan Nielsen, I think, is a shout that's going under the radar, especially long term. Should be on penalties now as well. If we go even cheaper, DCL's not too bad. If we go even cheaper, Krupi's not bad. Depends what price you pay him. Do you think Tav comes back soon? Yeah, that's kind of why I've kept him, because apparently the injury isn't too bad. So maybe a few weeks out, maybe 2 at the max, but good fixtures coming for them. Really good fixtures coming for them. That's why we've got Evan Nielsen this week. Captain Haaland or Semenyo? For me, it'd be Haaland, unless you get news that Haaland isn't starting. Yeah, I would go for Semenyo if we get that news, but we haven't got that news yet, and we probably won't get any news until maybe 10 minutes before the deadline. So, yeah. Evan Nielsen won't be on pens. He doesn't take them since he missed, trust me. Yeah, but Dan, remember, the penalty taker is injured. Tavernier isn't playing. So it would probably fall back down to the ranks of Evan Nielsen, who did take them before. Eddie sent another rose. Thank you so much, Eddie. Should I start Xhaka or Alderete? I would go Alderete. I think there's more of a ceiling for points there. Best goalkeeper partnership to have on wildcard. For me, it actually would be Kelleher and Sanchez is a goalkeeper rotation. I think it's the best one to have on a wildcard. Great fixtures all the way till game week 35. Joshua said I've got one free transfer, and after last deadline, I was going to do Virgil van Dijk to Gabriel, but it's frustration I only have one transfer every single week. Is it worth me doing, or just hold out for 2 transfers next week? I think it's worth doing. Joshua. I really do. What's your rank? 897k. So it's not fantastic, but we're slowly moving up. I've got 5.3 in the bank, says Braden. Ooh. Need a cheap beast, Braden, do you? Thoughts on bringing in Munoz when he's back? Depends what state Crystal Palace is in, because if they lose Mateta, it's not really going to go well, in my opinion. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes in the next few weeks, and then look to bring Munoz in, because I think he's still a really great asset, Munoz. We haven't seen him in a long time. Soboslai or Gordon or Cherky? I'd say my order would probably go Gordon, Soboslai, Cherky for that pro gamer. Chalobah or Mukiele, says Aston. I would go. Honestly, for me, I'd go Mukiele. I'd go Mukiele. Why have Evan Nielsen and Virgil? Virgil's probably leaving in the next few weeks, potentially. Evan Nielsen's got great fixtures long term, and he should be on pens now. Yes, lads, how are we? How are we, Connor? How are you doing, mate? How are you doing? Good morning, good morning. Is it good to have Wilson in your starting 11 this week? Yeah, it's not too bad. The fixture's quite good, actually. New background, I see, Mogs. Yeah, new graphics for the channel a little bit here. New logo as well. Reinders will get 12 points a day. Remember this comment. I will remember this comment. I actually will. Nico says sell Semenyo or Foden or both. It'll be Foden for me. It would be Foden for me. If you are on TikTok, make sure you double tap and scream. We're almost at 10k likes. New logo fire. Yeah, I quite like it. Quite like it. It's got a bit more personality to it. Bruno captain? No. I have to play free transfer this week. Oh, I had to play a free transfer this week. I did so many transfers. Oh, really, Freddie? How many transfers were you talking there? How many minus hits did you take? Alex says, what do you think about selling Foden and buying Enzo Lefebvre? I think if it saves you money, I don't mind it, Alex. I don't mind it this week. I think if you want to sell Foden, you can. I was so heavy on keeping Foden this week, and then yesterday happened with the press conferences, with the news about the training. Yeah, it wasn't looking good for him, which is a big worry for me. Charlie's in the chat. Yes, Moogs. Chat, run up the likes. Charlie, you know the score, mate. You know the score. Appreciate that, Charlie, mate. It's nice to have you in here. It's triple captain day. Oh, where's that gone there? Is it triple captain day, do you reckon? No. I think that'll be in game week 26 when it should be a double game week. Joshua says, yeah, we'll just see how it goes. I think I will just go Virgil van Dijk to Gabriel. It'll probably be worth it sooner rather than later. Yeah, especially with that possible double game week coming up in 26. I think it's the move. Should I start Foden or Xhaka? I'll be starting Foden if you have him. If you still have Foden, I'll be starting him. There are situations where you can just keep Foden this week. It's about personal preference of mine. All love, bro. I don't know what to do with my team this week. Saka and Foden headaches. For me, Saka's more worth keeping than Foden this week. With that double game week 26 possibly on the horizon. You could probably go Bowen because he's on pens, but I do think Sunderland are very strong defensively, so I would say Xhaka, but then he doesn't really get clean sheet points because he's a midfielder. I'd go Xhaka, I'd go Xhaka. Why not? Why not? I think it's the move. Jacko, send the gift. Appreciate that, Jacko. If you've got a question, dude, drop it in the chat. Is Njai back? Njai should be back, bro, yeah. Football 07 says Lacroix or Anderson to put on a wild card. For me, it would be Anderson. I'm just not sure on Palace at the moment. Really glad Dorgu got last week because Gehi didn't play, so I got an extra 15 points to save my game week. Nice, Safran, nice. Bench Haaland? No, I'm not benching Haaland. If he doesn't start, right, if Haaland doesn't start, I won't bench him anyway. I'll just move my captaincy. How long till we get news of Haaland start? We most likely won't. I'll be really honest. We probably will not be told if Haaland starts. What I will say about Haaland, if we are going to get news about him, it will be in the last 5 to 10 minutes of the stream today. I think Jacko asked, who do you think the best player in the Premier League is? I mean, it probably would be Haaland, which is boring. You gave up on Semenyo. I haven't had Semenyo in ages. Where do you think you... where do you reckon you'll get... Oh, I keep moving the chat there, Charlie. Sorry. Do you reckon you will get the World Cup mugs? Ooh. Do you know what? I think we've got an incredibly strong shout for it this World Cup. I mean, we always do, but I just feel like we're much, much stronger now. I think we've got a great shot at it. We've hit 10k likes on the TikTok, by the way, guys. Let's aim for 20. Let's aim for 20. We've got an hour and 24 till the deadline hits. Let's go for it. And so this week or next? This week's good. Next week's even better. Whenever you think's the best time for your team, I would go ahead and put him in. Do you think Cherky's going to play? I think he could start, but I don't think he'll start on the wing. If he's going to start anywhere, it'll be in the midfield with Bernardo and Rodri. What do you think of Evan Nielsen for Bowen? I probably wouldn't do it this week. I'd do it the week after, Eddie. If you're really not liking Bowen's fixture this week, which is... I mean, it is a home fixture, but it is against Sunderland. You could make the Evan Nielsen move. I don't mind it. I think Evan Nielsen's a really strong option. Not this week, potentially, but maybe the week after. What happens to Gordon now that Bruno G is out? Is it good for Gordon's minutes, or Gordon to Enzo with one free transfer, says Nico? I think the benefit of Bruno G being out is that Gordon will be on pens. I think you'll still be a decent option this week with the home fixture, so I'd play Gordon this week. Enzo could probably wait till next week with that particular transfer, Nico. Nico also asked, start Hall or Virgil? For me, it'd be Lewis Hall. Best Foden replacement for 9 mil. Ooh, 9 mil. If you don't have Enzo Fernandez, I think you could go there and save a bit of money. I would do that transfer. Is Bruno G out? It's not guaranteed to be out. He's just got a bit of swelling on his ankle. Connor says, have my whole wildcard plans. Just have to hit confirm. Ryan to Pickford, Darlow to Dubravka, Anderson to Dorgu, Cash to Timber, Foden to Fernandez, Rogers to Manu, Rice to Palmer. Ooh, and Ekatike to Barry and Gudmundsson to Rodon. Nice, Connor. Hopefully everything works out well this week, though. Evan Nielsen is offside all the time. Get him on the bench. Nah. I think he's a great option, Evan Nielsen. Who's another captain? Thiago. Thiago's another good captain this week. Yusuf says, Bruno G decision is bloody confusing. Should I just put in DCL or keep Bruno G? I think you could keep Bruno G with it being a home fixture. If you're really not keen on him this week and you think he definitely could be out, go for DCL. He's not a bad option. Do you think I should hit confirm? Yeah, I mean, personally for me, Enzo Fernandez is better than Palmer right now. But if you really like him, Palmer, go for it, Connor. I'm trying to think of who else I could really talk you out of. Dorgu, I personally wouldn't do. It is the only other one. I have 4 City players. Who should I sell? Or was that when should I sell? Sorry, the chat went very fast there. I have 4 City players. Who should I sell between Gehi, Semenyo, and Cherky? For me, it'd be Cherky. Do you think you're beating the like records? I don't know. I think the like record's 40k, and we've got an hour and 20, so potentially. Would you say Xhaka on the bench? Xhaka on the bench this week. What, in terms of just playing for Sunderland, do you think he'll be on the bench? No, is my answer to that. In terms of FPL, would I bench him this week? No. Same, I would play him. West Ham away from Sunderland play. Can you remind me of when the double and blank game weeks are, and when's the best week to wildcard? I mean, the best week to wildcard is massively team dependent for me, but next week isn't a bad shout. Potential double in 26, followed by a potential blank in 31. Potential double in 33, which I don't know where the blank would lie on that, actually. Maybe 36. I'll have to. Those are the ones I definitely know off the top of my head now. That could be spots where that happens. Where you ranked 897k, so I'm not doing that well at the moment, mate. Decent week last week, though. Decent week last week. Appreciate the heart, me Eddie. Don't have to keep sending gifts to get your questions answered, mate, but I really do appreciate it. So if you do have another question, Eddie, do drop it down. Captain Dekatike. I mean, there is a conversation where he doesn't start this week. Is what I'm saying to you, mate. But Gakpo could play up front, but I do think it'll be Ekitiko. There is a conversation there, though. There is. Because I expect Verts to be on that left-hand side. Szoboszlai in the middle. On the right, Salah. Up front, it's up for grabs for me. Do you reckon Haaland starts? Yeah. Saffron said if I activate my wildcard on Monday and the deadline is next Saturday, there will be 6 days between. Will the price changes still affect my team, even though I have already activated it on Monday? Zafran, if you're activating wildcard for 24 and you're definitely sure you're doing that strategy, as soon as today's deadline passes, you can activate it. As soon as today's deadline passes, activate. If you know that's the case, definitely go ahead and do it. Buemo good for Foden replacement. I have 1.1 in the bank, and to buy Bruno Fernandes next week. I'd just buy Bruno Fernandes this week if you really want to. I personally don't think Everton's attacking assets are good until Greenish is back. I think with Njai back, that's good enough for me. Cherky question mark. I think he could play today, but it's one of them where it's sort of 50-50 between me, saying Foden and Cherky this week. I can't separate them, to be honest, because both of them have that middle spot to be playing for. I think on the left-hand side, you have Doku and Marmoush and Foden who could all play. I think Doku is more suited to the game. But yeah. Yo, might be a bit late. What's going on, Orange? How are you doing, brother? How are you doing this morning? So the doubles, just 1 or 2 teams, or is it like a good few teams, like 5 or 6? Don't want to waste wildcard early on a double with 2 teams when it's a possible double with multiple teams. There should be a bigger double game week later in the season. What I would say is you can prepare for that with transfers. I've done it in the past and it's worked out very well. You can probably have a better week in a big double with wildcard, but that's what I would say. We don't know fully those dates, though. They aren't confirmed. No double is confirmed, but the most likely one is game week 26. Can't afford this week. You could do that next week then, yeah. Nico, you could do that next week, Nico. Who would you get out this week? Virgil van Dijk, Szoboszlai, Cunha. Ooh, 1 free transfer as well. I would say probably Virgil van Dijk is strong to get rid of, but this week is a weird one because Bournemouth tend to score a lot of goals and concede a lot of goals. So in that frame of mind, you'd probably keep Szoboszlai and then sell Virgil van Dijk. Cunha's also potentially a sell as well. Short-term bad fixtures, but could be an option we consider in the future potentially. Depends who you'd be able to buy in that midfield instead of Cunha. Triple captain Haaland? No, not this week. Not this week. Ben's put his team in. Hero, Michele, Robinson, Miley, Odegaard, Saka, Rodri, Palmer, Barry, Haaland. Very differential team, Ben. I like it. And the captain, I think someone else triple captained. Might have been you, Ben. I'm not too sure. But someone triple captained Romero last week. And it wasn't too bad if I do remember rightly. I'm doing an absolute madness and triple captain Bruno. Oh my god. I would not be doing that, bro. It was me. Oh, it was you, Ben. Nice. Yeah, you got such a differential team, Ben. It's crazy. That Odegaard loan him. Semenyo captain. Yeah, I don't mind it. Rick says Embuemo or Fernandez. Fernandez for me is worth paying the extra for. Nico says, hear me out, sell Xhaka for Lefebvre and Foden to Bruno. Is it good? Yes, Nico, that is good. I would say that's what I would do. That's what I would do with your team, Nico. Yeah. Pickford or Donnarumma? Ooh. I think Pickford's just brilliant, isn't he? I think he's one of those keepers where it's pretty decent when he gets a clean sheet, but there's also save points there, which is great. Why have you got an Arsenal with a Man City attacker? It's just how the game falls sometimes. You can't avoid fixture clashes every single week, brother. Thoughts on Sobosai to Enzo or someone better like Njai? I would say Enzo's the better option out of those two. And to me, says Dan. I'm sorry, Dan. There's 163 people in here. I'll try look for your comment though, Dan. There it is. I think Chow or Anderson. If it's Elliot Anderson, the way you've spelt it, I would probably play Elliot Anderson. If it's Brighton Anderson, I would play Malik Chow. Just about over him, but that decision is incredibly close. Is Bruno going to play? Bruno G should play there. Yeah. Score prediction for Man City versus Wolves. I think it'll be 2-1 Man City. I think it'll be 2-1. I think we'll see glimpses of Man City getting better, but that's because of the fixture standard. Or Bruno, or just buy Bruno F and have 0.0 left and do that, have 0.7 left. I would do that transfer, Nico, that you mentioned before with the 2-1. Sorry, but was my question answered? If you repeat it, didn't hear your answer. Let me have a look. Oh, yeah, Zafran, about your wild card. So, Zafran, if you're definitely wild carding next, like for game week 24, as soon as this week's deadline has stopped and we hit the timer, you can activate your wildcard straight away and start making moves. So you can absolutely take advantage of price changes, Zafran. It's probably the strategy I would choose if I wasn't a wildcard this week. If you aren't a wildcard, if that goes for everyone else as well, go ahead and make those moves straight away. Activate the wildcard if you're definitely doing it. Haaland will not play. They will let him rest and play Marmoush instead. I don't know. I don't think so. Brian Brobby worth a punt? Yeah, I would say he's worth a punt if you're looking for a massively differential cheap striker. He's been really good for us. There is that sort of doubt that Isidore can steal a few minutes, though, and he probably will because Isidore's planning to potentially move. So we'll probably entice him to stay by playing him a little bit longer. Kidda says, Mukiele versus West Ham or Rodgers versus the Toon? Mukiele. How come you got triple Arsenal defence and Bruno as well? Because you can't avoid fixture clashes in FPL every single week. It's impossible. Unless you just take hits every single week. Jade says Kelleher or Raya. This week I'll go David Raya. Best defence. Have hit wildcard. Thoughts on? I mean, a deal should be the main force with Evan Nielsen. Now Tavernier is out too. Yeah, he should be as well. I think he played quite well in the last game. He did play well in the last game. I think Evan Nielsen's a great option right now. Haaland will be rested. I don't think so, but we'll see if we get some news a bit closer to the deadline. I have 4 free transfers. If I roll, do I get 5 next week or 0? The maximum you can get is 5, so you'll get 5 next week. But if you roll when you have 5 free transfers, they will just cancel out because the max is 5. I've got a squad value of 100.4 and 5.3 in the bank. Braden, how on earth have you done that? How on earth have you done that? Pro Gamer says, who should go on my team, Gordon or Cherky or Wilson? This week I do Gordon. He should be on pens if Bruno is out. Okay, but I can't get Embuemo next week. I don't think you need Embuemo this week. Next week. If you're really desperate for Embuemo, do the move. But I think Bruno F. Bruno Fernandez is much better. I've been looking at Brobby, Barry, and Mane. Barry's an interesting one with the minute share with Beto. Brobby has minute share with Isidore, but it's not as bad as Beto. So the sooner, the better to catch some price rises to boost my team value. Yes, on a wildcard next week, that's how I'd play things, Afram. How are we? How are you doing, Jack? Nice to see you in chat, mate. I'm good this morning. I'm good. Transfer Bruno G. I'll probably hold him, but if you're desperate, you could actually move him on a little bit earlier. I don't know if I can trust Haaland as cap. Tempted to go Thiago. Yeah. If you think Haaland's not going to be as good today or not get as many minutes, go Thiago. He's my vice captain this week. Sell Xhaka to Lefebvre and Foden to Buemo, and next week maybe sell Semenyo to Bruno Fernandes. You could do that, yeah. I think Bruno Fernandes is the much better asset of Manchester United, though. In a bit, mate. Have a good one. Nice to have you in, Ben. Enjoy your game week, brother. Hopefully the Romero captain works out for you again. See you later, mate. Palmer or Enzo? Enzo for me is a bit better than Palmer. Just with that groin issue that Palmer has, we still don't know like what's going on with him. Like, it seems it could happen in any way. Is it worth Watkins? With Tammy Abraham being bought by Aston Villa, I think Watkins is a slightly worse asset. The fixtures are okay, but like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like he's definitely gonna be having 90 minutes every single week. Do we think Bruno G starts? I think he starts, yes. I think he does. I think a bit of swelling can definitely be taken away with the right protocol. He's a professional footballer. He has the facilities and equipment he needs. For me personally, I think he'll be okay. Even as a Liverpool fan, I love Njai and had him in my team before AFCON. By looking at Everton's fixtures and for the rest of the season, I don't really have a solid run apart from maybe the next 3 to 4. Yeah, the next 3 to 4 is okay. I would agree, Joshua. He is a really, really good player. He was really hard to deal with when he came to the Stadium of Light as well. Really hard. He scored a brilliant solo goal. Chalobah or Tarkovsky? I'd go Chalobah this week. Heard Haaland's been dropped for Marmouche. Unless it's a sort of verified source, mate, I wouldn't be listening. Wilson or Cherky? I'd go Wilson because I'm not too sure Cherky's definitely going to start. Bruno or Palmer? Bruno's the better asset there for me. I think the Chelsea in the midfield you should be looking at is Enzo. What's your rank? 897k. So we're not doing that well, but we're moving up slowly and surely up the leaderboards. Why do you have Reinders on your bench? Because I don't think he'll start. I don't think he'll start. Who's everyone captaining here, though? What's everyone's captaincy plans this game week? Because I've seen a lot of people having doubts about Haaland and things, so who are we captaining? Connor says his team is currently Pickford, Dubravka, Hall, Timber, Gabriel, Rodon, Mukiele, Vert, Semenyo, Fernandes, Wilson, Palmer, Robbie, Mane, Haaland. Wow. That is a very cool team. If you did need to save a bit of money as well, mate, you could go Mukiele instead of Mukiele, go Alderete. We've got a lot of captains on Igor Thiago in the chat there. Semenyo captain from Yasif. Watkins or Soboslai. This week I'll probably go Soboslai this week. Verified sources not include Pep Guardiola. He's always chatting shite about injuries and players not being available / playing. He's not great in presses, but he's not the worst. We've seen worse in the Premier League. If Haaland's benched, do you reckon he'll come on? Yes. Yes, I think so, but I don't think he'll be benched. Eddie says, should I keep double up on Sunderland or play Bowen instead of one of them? You could play Bowen instead of one of them, to be fair. If one of them is Xhaka, yes, I would play Bowen instead of Xhaka and play the Sunderland defender. Do you think Dominic Calvert-Lewin captain? Not for me this week. I think it's a hard enough fixture for him in the first place. It's not a bad one. It's not a bad one against his old team. I'm just not entirely positive that his minutes will be brilliant going forward, because when or not he is being signed, could that mean Nemecha comes on earlier. Could Buenanotte be playing instead of Aronson? It sort of goes up in the air what happens with the side, so I don't see why he would sort of be benched in any way. Chow or Virgil to start in defence. Malik Chow. Lewis Potter or Rodgers. Ooh. Do you know what? I'd say Rodgers. I'd say Rodgers there. Should I be starting Munoz? I don't know if he's definitely predicted to start. Let me have a look. Daniel Munoz came back at the beginning of the week. Oh, he definitely could be. Definitely could be. I think he's worth starting, in fact, yeah. Why not? Start Rodgers or not? Yeah, you could start Rodgers. It's not too bad. The problem is oh, I've got a puzzle on my screen. The problem with Rodgers is he's got a difficult fixture. I have the exact money to do Njai and Ekatike over Palmer and Mane. I think maybe I prefer those moves. I don't know. What do you think, Connor? What you is that what you're going to be doing there? Other than Haaland, who's a good vice captain option in case Haaland doesn't play? Thiago. Pardon me. With 15k likes, guys, on TikTok, keep double tapping that screen to see if we can get 20k. We're almost halfway through the stream now. An hour till deadline, pretty much. I don't think he'll be benched either. More likely he gets taken off early, around 60. I think so. I think it's game state dependent. I personally think that Haaland starts. If the game's not going their direction, he'll stay on for a longer period of time. If they kind of have the game, in theory, won at that point, he'll come off. Njai and Ekatike or Palmer and Mane. For me, Enzo Fernandez is the better Chelsea midfielder there, Connor. So that would save you money anyway. And Njai's pretty nice though, isn't he? Ekatike, I'm not sure this week because Gakpo could play up front. Eddie says, should I play? You should play Rodon, I think, sorry. I think Anderson's better than Rodon this week. That's what I would do. Your team's cooked if United scores. What if Bruno Fernandes scores the goal? The big boys are here. The YouTube chat will be chaos in a minute. Yeah, it will be. Orange Apple says, which sounds better for this week? Soboslai to Enzo or Virgil van Dijk to Saliba /8 Nori? For me, it'd be Soboslai to Enzo feels better. Pro Gamer says Wilson or Watkins. For me, it'd probably be Wilson. But Watkins is not too bad of an option. Semenyo or Thiago captain. Probably Thiago for me, but Semenyo is really decent this week. I think he starts off that right-hand side. I think Doku starts on the left-hand side. Haaland up front. I think that's how we're going to see things. And then Cherky or Foden in the midfield position. Brandon sending the gift. Thank you so much, Brandon. If you've got a question, Brandon, do drop it in the chat. Thiago or Calvert-Lewin? Thiago. Appreciate the rose, Eddie. I meant that I think you should start Rodon ahead of Virgil. I see. I think my team's happy. I'm happy with it how it is. But Rodon is okay. I just think the likelihood that Everton scores pretty high. Appreciate the gift as well, Brandon. Again, thank you so much, man. Robin says Ekatike or Haaland captain. Haaland. O'Reilly for Chalobah or Foden for Rice. Ooh. I would say Foden to Rice isn't that bad. What time do you wake up for a 9 a.m. stream? 7 a.m. 7 a.m. I wake up at 7 a.m. Looks like they still half asleep. Finally waking up. Mate, I'm half asleep. Nah, to be fair, I've had a coffee this morning and I'm like, I'm wired. Haaland to be benched by Pep? I don't think so, but hopefully we get a leak. Would you start Dorgu, Virgil van Dijk, Haven, or Lewis Miley this week? I would start. Ooh. Virgil van Dijk, I'd start. Miley, I would start. And then Dorgu also would be. So that would be the order. It would be Virgil van Dijk, Miley, Dorgu, Haven. I wake up at 4 a.m. to prepare for these streams. I just imagine you waiting on your phone, just waiting for the stream to happen. Only a few hours to wait, though, mate, isn't it? I think Brandon sent a question. He did. I'm going to play my triple captain Haaland versus Fulham. Is that valid? As they scored 5 goals versus them. I think, for me, a triple captain will be used on a double game week player for the back half of the season. If that falls on that fixture, go for it. But it shouldn't do. It should be in game week 26 for Arsenal. Start Cherky, Calvert-Lewin, or Lewis Potter. Ooh, Calvert-Lewin definitely I would start out of those two. Other two, sorry. What's the best captain pick? Gabriel, Enzo, Thiago. Pick one, Thiago. Triple up on Arsenal this week is bold. I've been tripling up on them for ages. We'll be back in 15 minutes-ish. Got to do something. No worries, Orange Apple. Don't you worry. Start Cherky or Rodgers? Ooh, probably Rodgers because he's going to start, but it's tough. It's tough with that one because Cherky could be amazing this week if he starts, but we don't know. We just don't know. Thoughts on Salah and Haaland next week? No, do not do it. Unless Mo Salah starts for Liverpool and looks like he's back to last season's form, I don't see a reason to sell Haaland. I really don't. You should be able to afford all the players you want in the midfield and the defence with Haaland for me. You putting a Chelsea defender in soon? Potentially next week, yeah. Potentially. Maybe Virgil van Dijk goes next week and we get Chalobah in. Don't know who to play out of Hall, Rodgers, and... Oh, that's just went too fast now. I can't see it. I don't even know who has... Oh, it was Josh. Hi, Josh. Don't know who to play out of Hall, Rodgers, and Watkins. I would play Hall. My order would be Hall, Watkins, Rodgers. Stephen Geary says, start Saka, Bruno, G, or Timber. For me, I would start Saka. My order would be Saka, Timber, Bruno, G. That's my order. Should I sell Rodgers for Rice? Not this week. Not this week. What to do with Mateta? Get rid of him. Honestly, I think if the news still continues about him leaving Palace and he doesn't play well this week, just get rid of him. I don't think it's a good fixture for him this week anyway. What do you think about him? Thoughts on going from Watkins to Bowen? I would just keep a hold of Watkins personally. Connor says, I'm also, I think I'm going to go Njai and Pedro. I think I prefer Pedro to Ekitike with these fixtures and covers Palmer / Enzo. I wouldn't say it covers Palmer and Enzo as well as you think because forwards don't get as many points as the midfielders normally this season. Haaland is being bench confirms. No, it's not. Send me the article. We're 55 minutes away from the FPL deadline and even further away from Man City playing. There will not be a leak that is, in my opinion, legit at this point in time. Start 2 of Wilson, Brobby, Timber, Mukiele, Rodon. I wouldn't be playing Rodon this week. Brobby I would be playing. Mukiele I would be playing. Timber I would be playing. So that's 3 out of the 2 you want. Sorry, I was chatting about the leaks there. For me, you could go Wilson and Mukiele. Brobby's a really good option this week, though. That's tough. That's tough. Timber, you want to start as well. Pardon me. I'm having a little look for some leaks for you guys, but it is way too early for it, in my opinion. Yes, nothing coming up. Yeah, nothing. Start Semenyo or Calvert-Lewin? Semenyo. Kelleher, Anderson, Mukiele, Tarkovsky, Gabriel. What are your thoughts? That is actually a really nice defence this week. That is a really nice defence. But yeah, Connor, what do you think you're going to do with that? Those 5 players there. Who are you going to start? Because that's difficult for me. Start a Sev or Timber? Timber. Hold on a second. Haha, my team's better than yours. Thank you so much, Donald Duck 2000. Beth says, do I start Bruno Fernandes? I have Garner, Rice, Wilson, and Bruno G currently. If you've got Bruno Fernandes, I'll be starting him in every single game week. He just has the ability to do something all the time. Got myself a cheeky cuppa. Go on, Braden, lad. Which teams you reckon get a clean sheet? Oh. There's not a lot of clean sheet potential this week, in my opinion. There's some pretty weird fixtures going on. Arsenal always have an amazing shout at a clean sheet, though. City should be getting a clean sheet, but I think they'll concede. What if I bench Bruno for Wilson? Ooh. I probably wouldn't, personally. You probably want to play Wilson, though, don't you? Like, big time. It's a decent fixture for him this week. Bruno's weird because I think he's pretty much nailed on for me this week to get defensive contributions. It's tough. It's tough with that call, Connor. It really is. What would you rank Gordon as a Newcastle asset? I think he's decent, but best. Charlie sent in a heart me. Thank you so much, Charlie. If you have a question, Charlie, do drop it down. Reinders, will he start? I don't think so. I don't think so. Do you think Cherky will start? Says 6969. I think it's pretty much 50-50 between him and Foden for that middle position. Steven says start Wilson or Bruno G. I think Wilson's maybe a little bit better this week. Should I sell Mateus Nunez? Probably. He's ill. There is competition now at those positions for right back and left back. I need to free up 0.4 to be able to go Cunha to Bruno next week. That could be the way you do it. Where's Ekatike? Not on my team. He's not going in my team. Thank you for the gift, Robin. Appreciate that, man. Is Palmer a good pick? I think Enzo Fernandez is better. I think there's better value there. Robin says start Semenyo or Calvert-Lewin. For me, it'd be Semenyo. Calvert-Lewin's still a really great option to consider. Your team is finished if United score, and the midfield is weak. I don't think the midfield's weak. United could score a goal, though. Absolutely. I still think Arsenal are very, very high up on clean sheet potential this week, despite the fixture. Charlie says possible Thiago captain due to Murillo apparently being injured. Oh, is he injured? Is he? I mean, Thiago's my vice captain, so obviously I rate him quite highly this week for captaincy. Not as high as HAALAND though, because I think HAALAND does start. Vert in capital letters. Yeah, not on my team at the moment. Not at the moment. It's quite expensive. Still quite expensive. Will Semenyo start? Yes, I think so. What do you think about start Ahmad? It's hard to see that Ahmad Diallo starts this game week, but I think he definitely could. I love Ahmad. I absolutely love him. Solanke will start or not. Do you know what? I haven't looked at Spurs too much in FPL because they're just, to be honest, mate, they're crap. But let me have a little gander at him if you need some. I mean, he was involved in the Champions League. He could start. He could start. Who would you go to for 5.1? If you want to save money in that defensive position from Mateus Nunes, I think you could go even cheaper. I think you could go genuinely to Alderete. If the rest of the defence looks good, that saves you a lot of money. Gives you a lot of freedom there. Rodgers or DCL? Probably DCL. I have 4.4, need a midfielder. 4.4. Is there even a midfielder at 4.4? Why is the Wi-Fi went off? Okay, well, I think we're back. Yeah, I don't know if there is a midfielder for 4.4 even worth it, mate. That's tough. JJ says triple captain Haaland, Ekatike. Neither of them this week. Neither of them. Yeah, no midfielders at 4.4. Whoever was asking that, really. Miley you could get, but I think he's more expensive, isn't he? By like 0.1. Rodgers or Watkins, suggest one for me. We'd always probably lie on Watkins because of potential penalties, but we'll see. Who's on penalties for Aston Villa when it happens? It should be him, but we never know. We never know with Aston Villa. It's so hard. McGinn isn't on the pitch to take a pen, so that's good. Thoughts on Odegaard? I like him as a player, but Spurs, I'm just not touching. Ahmad says, current events is Sanchez in goal, Chow, Gabriel, Nunez, Keane, Haven. Bought in Keane last week, and he scored, he got a red card. Yeah, it's tough. I'll probably get someone more that you could play every single week for the 5.1 then. That could be Alderete still, though. That could be. Where's Welbeck? I don't know, mate. Don't know. I haven't considered him for a while. I have a question. If you don't switch wildcard, what happens? What if you don't click wildcard when you've wildcard? What? I don't get what you mean. If you don't use it for the whole season, then it's gone. Best to captain, Haaland first, Thiago second, Semenyo is definitely up there, I would say, as well. I think he'll get good minutes. Matthew says Rodgers or Joachim Anderson. I think Joachim Anderson's pretty good this week. Haaland might not start. Yeah, might not. Start Garner or Soboslai. I'd say Soboslai. I think Bournemouth conceded a lot of goals. Rowan says, Dan Ballard, captain, come on. Come on. Haaland will have a field day. Yeah, he could do. I think City won't be as free flowing as we've seen. I think they'll control the game a bit more today. Shocking team. Let's go, Tom. Thanks for the comment. Why you think Haaland won't start? That's not what I said, Gareth. I think he will start. I think there's a chance he doesn't start. Absolutely. Anyone you would suggest? Yeah, let me have a look, bro. 5.1. We'll really try lock in something for you here, bro. Senesi could be decent for you, to be fair. I mean, Senesi's got great long-term fixtures, but like I said, Bournemouth are conceding quite a bit. I would honestly go Alderete. You could consider Collins as well, but his fixtures turn pretty quick. Who else are we looking at here? Lacroix, his fixtures are okay. I think Igor Thiago gets 4 this week. 4? I should captain in them. Captain Gordon, not for me this week. Don't have him as well. I just realised Gareth Bale left a comment just before. That's a cool name. Virgil will score. I bloody hope so. He's been terrible lately. What was that? Garner or Xhaka? Probably. I'd say probably Garner. I captained in Jai. Wow. It's a bold move. Get Creepy Jr. for Evan Nielsen? No. What's good, Mogs? 160k now to get a green. To get a green arrow, what do you think of Neto as a punt over Enzo? I mean, it's a differential one, but I think Enzo's differential enough. He's not owned by a lot of people. In 3 game weeks, downgrade from 50k to 270. That's rough, dude. Why you think Evan Nielsen will score? It's not that I think he'll score. I've picked Evan Nielsen for the middle to, well, long term, in fact, for Bournemouth fixtures. He should be on pens when Tavernier's out as well. I think he's a good option. I don't pick players because, oh yeah, I know he's going to score this week. That's not how my brain works with FPL picks. Why start Bruno with 3 Arsenal defenders? I mean, I don't think Rodon or Reinders is better than Bruno this week. Risky keeping Foden? Not. It is risky, yes, but like you can absolutely keep Foden this week. I think he's both a sell and a hold. It just depends on your team structure. Captain Sharda, everyone's basically the same team, so differential. I don't know if I like him captain. I think I prefer Thiago with the pens. Tarkovsky or Timber? Timber. Start Harry Wilson or Rodgers? I would start Harry Wilson there. Is Rice a good vice captain? Ooh. Probably not. I would say Thiago if you have him. Absolutely love your reaction if anyone talks shit about your team. Yeah, I just don't care. I think I'm going to go with Alderete. Just going to wait and see if there's any leaks for Nunez to if he starts. If he doesn't, probably wait a week. Maybe go Keane to Alderete. Yeah, I think that's strong. Wildcard 23 or 24. Martinez, Keane, O'Reilly, Foden, Bruno G. I'll go 24. I think you're going to get much more information at 24 and be happier with that wildcard. Bruno G, sell or keep if you have the money in him. I mean, I would just have him as an asset, as a sell in any way. I don't think he's good enough with the fixtures coming up. But if you want to keep him, I think he's okay this week. Remove Timber for Reinders. He'll perform, in my opinion. I don't think he starts Reinders. Start Wilson or Pedro Porro. Wilson. Spurs are terrible, mate. Spurs are terrible. Connor said I've narrowed it down to start one of Brobby, Wilson, or Njai. Oh, God. Oh, God. That is so tough. Probably Njai. Connor, your team's too good, mate. It's so hard to decide. It probably would be Njai there, though. What is this pubescent teen done talking about FPL? Cheers, Caleb. I'm 25 years old, mate. What do you think about Robertson to Spurs? Robertson to Spurs is actually a really good transfer. It is a really good transfer for Spurs. I don't know if it'll happen, though. Robbie is against West Ham. That is terrible. Oh, yeah, league, mate, aren't they? We only smashed them 3-0 to start the season. Best replacement for Martinez and O'Reilly. Probably Sanchez or Chalobah is a defender from Chelsea. I would say another goalkeeper is Kelleher as well. Alderete's alright as a value option. Gahey should be okay. I reckon Njai. Start 2 of them, sorry. I was going to say, who the hell have you brought in? It probably will be Wilson and Njai. Probably would be, mate, yeah. You think Cherky would be a good captain, or will he even start? We don't know if he starts, that's the problem. Gahey went to City, and now I have 4 City players. When I'm supposed to have 3, will I get penalised? No, you'll just not be able to make some transfers until you get rid of one of them. I think it's good for this week, though, with the fixture. -4 for Thiago. I wouldn't do a -4. Depends who you sell him. I'd go Keane to Alderete if Nunez starts. Would you start him over any of the others? Watkins, Shaw, Bruno G, Rice, Enzo, or keep the first sub. Do you know what? You could probably leave the. You could probably leave the transfer if you're not going to play him. You probably could. I took Haaland out for Bruno. Oh my days. I don't know if that's worth differential, of course, but I don't know if it's worth it. Connor says, but I love the Robbie shout. I know, I love it as well, but your team is too good, Connor. Why not bring in Dub? Who's Dub? Who's Dub? Should I sell Xhaka to Lafay and Foden to Bruno Fernandes? And that I will have 0.7 in the bank, or sell Xhaka to Lafay and Foden to Wemo. I would do Lafay, Xhaka to Lafay and Foden to Bruno Fernandes for you, Nico. Just did 2-3 transfer. Yeah, that's the one I would have done. Trust me, Raya will get a red. What? What information do you possibly know? Lafay or Ghana? Probably Lafay, but Ghana's a really good option. Do 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 do. Oh, nothing coming out from leaks here. I'm just having a little check for some leaks. Still probably way too early though. Let's see where we're at. Why not start Reinders? Because I don't think he starts in the fixture. Should I start DCL or Morgan Rogers? For me, it'd be DCL. Start 2, Wilson, Anderson, and O'Reilly. For me, it'd be Wilson and Anderson. Just because we're unsure that O'Reilly starts with Nori being back. Also, Fulham has a really good fixture. Should I sell Xhaka to Lafay? Yeah, it's not a bad move. You could, if you can afford to do Foden and Bruno Fernandes in itself, just do that move. I have Brobby. Brobby's great. I love Brian Brobby. Do you think Aylan will start? Possibly not. Ake could start and Gehi could start in the mid. But I think he will start, yeah. He's been alright, hasn't he? Not been bad. Sell Bruno G? Yeah, you could do. If you want to start him, you can, but you could definitely sell him. I don't think he's a great FPL asset. 3 Arsenal defenders, that will be risky. It is indeed. It is indeed. Right and back, Soboslai to Enzo confirmed, says Orange Apple. Nice. Nice. I think that'll benefit you definitely in the midterm. This week, it might be close between them, to be fair, like in terms of points this week. But I think fixtures, Enzo's great. Do you think Foden gets benched and same with Cunha? Cunha, I'm less... Like, I think Cunha should be starting in the game, in all honesty. Foden, on the other hand, honestly, I think it's so 50-50 between him and Cherky. Because I don't think he starts on the left. I really don't. I think he'll be in the midfield with Rodri and Bernardo. Pep quite literally said Haaland will get rested this weekend. No, he hasn't. Stop lying. You've got to realise I am sad and I will listen to the press conference and make notes. He has not said that. He said he's tired. We know that. Is there a likelihood that Haaland gets benched? Absolutely, there could be a world that happens. I just don't see it happening. I see his minutes being reduced, but it's Wolves, so we're captaining them. There could be a leak, though. We're going to stay on the live and see if there's a leak. Starts Senesi or Van Heck? Ooh, I go Van Heck. I go Van Heck. What about Bruno G? I think he's a sell, but if you really want to start him, you absolutely can. I think he'll be playing. Would you start Dorgu or Cunha? Probably Cunha, but I'm not 100% sure he definitely starts. United scoring against Arsenal, you're in for a bad week. Do you reckon, Jay? Do you reckon? As long as Bruno scores the goals, it's not that bad for me. Can't get Bruno Fernandes if I get Mbuemo, so I'm taking the risk and selling Foden. Right, yo. I get you, Nico. I get you. What's 12:30 this week? Sunderland, mate. Sunderland's 12:30, I think. Mate, I promise you he has. I will come back here when he blanks or doesn't start. Joe, he hasn't, but there is a possibility he blanks or doesn't start. I'll give you that. Don't spread lies in the chat. I'm going quadruple City. Gahey, Foden, Semenyo, Haaland, then do 2 transfers next week. Nice, Ollie. Nice. It's a good fixture for it, mate. It's a good fixture for it. Connor, mate, how did you get money up? I mean, if he's playing that formation, I don't think it's that bad. I triple captain Haaland. Wish me luck. Good luck, mate. Good luck. I would wait for a double game week personally, but good luck, brother. Might wildcard next game week, says Afran. If you are going to do it, you can activate your wildcard pretty early. I've got Wilson, Rogers, Watkins on the bench. Should I bench boost? You could genuinely bench boost. Who's your goalkeeper, Lee? Orange Apple benched 24 points last week. Oh, no. That's tough, man. That's tough. A lot of people had a few benching headaches last week, though. It was one of those weeks. Gun for Forest. Ah, right. Maybe you could hold off. Depends who's it depends who's in your actual team. Maybe there's people in your team that aren't as optimal for a bench. Joe said, okay, fair enough. You reckon Cherky will start, though? For me, it's 50-50 between him and Foden. Because I think Foden plays in the mid, if anywhere. My team is so bad at the moment. Virgin on wildcard territory. You're going to wildcard next week, Orange? Because that seems like a really good time to do so. Bone to Thiago from -4. Thoughts? I'll probably hold off, Tim. I'd probably hold off. What is your team name? Are you in the Moogs mini league? Yes, I am just FPL Moogs on FPL. All right, bro. Good luck. Just drop the follow. Appreciate you, Joe. Thanks for stopping by, man. Haaland doesn't start in. I don't think Marmoush will be. Foden doesn't start in, so I think Cherky will be. I don't know. I don't think that's the case. Oh, Orange Apple's in the mini league, I think. Yeah. I don't know what. I can't remember your team name though, Orange. Mukele or Rogers to start. I'd probably go Mukele. Hard fixture for Villa. Hard fixture. Do you think Dorgu will start? If so, will he play the wing role? I don't think he'll play the wing role, no. If he plays anything, it'll be left or right back, which will probably be left back, of course. What's Krippy Jr.'s minutes look like with Tavernier injured? I think they're good anyway. I think they're good enough anyway. So I think he's decent. You don't have Haaland. You don't Haaland is on bench. No. Reinders, question mark. I don't think he starts. I better play Matty Cash or Van Dijk. I'll say Matty Cash. Best midfielder buy this week, Enzo Fernandez. Bottled it too much. I won't be top of your mini league, but there is a good chance. But I had a good chance near the beginning. Yeah, to be fair, Josh, you're actually doing all right, weren't you? Ugarte, be kidding me. Oh, that is the one. Orange says, if a wildcard next week, what do I do about the possible double game weeks? You just save transfers. If you wildcarded in 24 and there's a potential double in 26, really you should have your wildcard set up for that anyway, which would just be triple Arsenal. Because are you going to really want Wolves players for their potential double in 26? Probably not. Maybe a Mane. But, you're not really going to be playing them, are you? So, yeah, for me, I think it's a good option if you're really not liking your team next week. Why Soboslai? I've had him for a few weeks, mate. Last week, broke my heart when he missed that penalty. Because that could have been on a really nice green arrow. Nico says, how to go now? Made the 2 transfers. Bruno Fernandes to Xhaka to Lefebvre. Nice, bro. Nice. Collins is all right, yeah. His fixtures for the next 3 after this week aren't very good, though. But longer term, he's brilliant. Wildcard, and do I get Vert instead of Ekitike? I would probably do that, yeah. I probably would. Mane or Krupi? I'd say Krupi. Reinders is playing? For me, no. Would there be more double game weeks than 26? Yeah, there should be, but we don't really get the information like really early. Confirmed about Reinders? No, it's not. Stop lying. After this week, I'm using 2 free transfers for Foden to Bruno Fernandes and Sharda to Enzo. I like those transfers, Ollie, actually. I really do, especially with Sharda's fixtures changing. Sorry, mate, I don't have time to look at people's teams on stream, especially deadlines. I'm trying to just get as many questions answered as humanly possible. Dylan says best defender for 4.7. I'd say Alderete Mukiele. Sunderland players, I think, are pretty decent to be buying. Defenders, at least, sorry. Apart from that, 5.7, Gehi. Or was it 4.7 you said? Might have been 4.7, isn't it? Yeah, 4.7, sorry. Yeah, would probably fall on those 2. I think they're the best cheaper ones. Yeah, I would say that. Who you start Sunderland players this week? Would I start them? Yeah, absolutely. Can't believe I might bench Harry Wilson this week. Oh my god, Connor, it's so difficult for your team this week. Oh my god. My team's cooking. Let's go, dude. Bournemouth striker and Liverpool defender. Either way, one's got the blank most likely. There is a situation where they could both do okay. We'll see. We'll see. A triple captain healed. If you mean you've got another triple captain at the end of the season, I would say yeah, if that's what you mean. Did you sell Foden? Sadly, yes. There was so many predicted lineups, so much news that had come out about what Pep's saying about I know exactly what will fix this. Like, a lot's pointing towards something changing for City, and I think it includes Foden not being on the left wing. I think it includes Foden being in the centre of the pitch with Bernardo Silva, or that just being Cherky, which doesn't feel amazing, so I had to get rid of him. It also allowed me to upgrade my striker to Evan Nielsen, who I think is really great long term. Dude, what do we think Bruno G starts or plays? I think he starts for Newcastle, but I think you can sell him. Jack Clark says thoughts on Njai captain. I think it's a bit of a rough one, that one. I'd do Haaland with the fixture. But if you don't want to captain Haaland, Thiago's pretty good. Semenyo's okay if you have him. Do you remember last week when you explicitly told me not to captain Wirtz and captain Haaland? And even though I knew United would turn up and win, if you knew it, then why did you do it then? Just because I say something doesn't mean you have to do it, mate. Saka or Rice? Saka for me with the potential double in 26. Sunderland win today for me, hopefully. I am a Sunderland fan. Not got either, that's why I'm leaning Thiago for a huge shift. Yeah, and Jai for a huge shift. You could do that, mate. You could do that then. Please answer. Wilson or James Garner at start? Wilson for me. And Jai and Brobby you're starting, Connor. Wilson bench. Damn. I'm going to check now for City leaks, guys. So we're getting into the territory of possible news. Let's have a look. Apparently Foden is in Avengers Doomsday. That's a great leak. Yeah, it's too early for the leaks, guys. Yeah, too early. Too early for leaks. Transferring some menu for Foden. I like that transfer, actually, especially for Premier League games. If you didn't know already, Semenyo can't play in the Champions League. So, should be playing the Premier a lot. Arguably could start Wilson over Robbie, but yeah, that's what I said, Orange. But it's so difficult because for me with Robbie this week, definitely Robbie's a great option, but also Wilson Isidore should be getting some minutes because there is a potential he leaves Sunderland in this window. We don't want him to, which is why I think he'll get a better allocation of minutes. I prefer Robbie against West Ham slightly as well in some ways, but that minutes risk, it does get to me a little bit. Oh, my nose. Good week to free hit? No, I don't think it is. Free hit in the blank game week of 31. Because that's what should happen in FPL. Robbie or Barry? Robbie. Triple captain Haaland? No. No. Sell Cherky. You could sell Cherky this week. The issue is, I think there is a situation where he starts. I have one free transfer. Who must I get? Depends on who you want to sell. It really does. But good candidates to buy this week for me is Enzo Fernandez. Maybe a Chelsea defender. Bruno Fernandes is okay for longer term. That nose rub was crazy. Yeah, mate. I've got like cartilage or something broken in my nose. Bench Foden or Xhaka? Bench Xhaka. If you've still got Foden, you should be playing him this week. Bruno G to start. Yeah, I think he'll start for Newcastle, but he is a potential sell for me. Is Mateus Nunes starting today? There was that illness that he had that apparently hasn't got rid of, but he definitely could start. After this week, I'm removing Quad City and going Foden to Bruno Fernandes and Shadow Enzo. Yeah, Ollie, I really like those transfers. I really do. When are you planning a wild card? I have no plans for chips at the moment. When double and blank game weeks get confirmed, that's when I'll be planning. But there is a slight sort of rough plan to the double and 26, which I think will happen. Best Tavernier replacement? Ooh. I would say Elliot Anderson. Njai or Rogers long term? Probably Njai, you know. I think he's brilliant for FPL. I really do. Cool, thank you so much for the rose. Heard Haaland has been dropped. Is that true? Because I've gone Thiago captain. It's not true. But Thiago captain is actually a really good one. Is Guimaraes worth it? For me, he's not worth the money. Cheers, says Cole. No worries, Cole. Thanks for stopping by, man. Ready to do this. Yeah, still nothing popping up for City News. Still 20 minutes away from the deadline, so got time. Now, have we got any idea of the severity of Tavernier? We don't, but we have heard it's not as big as we initially thought, which is good, which is why I'm holding. Mid of Saka, Foden, Anderson, Rice, Enzo defense, Anderson, Chalobah, O'Reilly, Van Heck, Collins. Bench 3, please. I would be benching Van Heck. Ooh, that's so difficult. Collins, I would probably keep. So I would play in the back line. I'd have Chalobah, Collins, Anderson. In the midfield, you would have to bench one of them. It would probably be Rice, but that's tough, man. Foden benched. FPL citizens. Let's have a look. I did see his post from before, but I don't think it's like fully confirmed though, is it? Unless he's just posted and I've missed it. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, I don't know if he's exactly the best account to listen to. Yeah, I wouldn't listen to that. I'll wait for my actual good sources to pop up for City News. But nothing yet. Rice or Saka? For me, Saka's the better option with the double game week in 26, a potential thing that could happen. Verts, Saka or Foden? I think the order of the assets for me would be Saka, Verts, Foden. Right, let's catch up on some chat. Thought on 5.5 mids, Garner. I think Elliot Anderson's under 5.5 or 5.5. I prefer him of anyone. What good sources? There's a City leak account who's actually part of the club staff, but they rarely leak because, again, they're part of the club staff. So sometimes something pops out, though. Yeah, still nothing. We're too early. I will give it a few minutes. Thiago captain's good, yeah. Had to leave for a bit, but back now. What's your prediction for Arsenal Man United? I think it'll be a boring game. Well, not boring, but like boring in the sense of a scoreline. I think it will be 1 or 2-0 Arsenal. Done. What do you think of João Pedro, my wildcard? João Pedro's a really interesting one. I think the midfielders hold more value for FPL points, though. I think Enzo, not so much Palmer, but Enzo for me is a really good Chelsea midfielder asset because midfielders just do score more points, and that's been a theme this season. Is Haaland going to rest, mate? No, I don't think so. Arsenal not winning? I think they will. Maverick, I don't know what you mean by that. I really don't know what you mean by that. Everyone Captain Haaland, and if he ends up not starting, it's going to be the biggest bait. I mean, yeah, if he doesn't start, like, it is what it is. You can't control that. But, like, go for your vice captain, like, if you really don't think Haaland will start. Yeah, nothing crazy coming out with leaks and stuff. I'm getting my leak accounts ready in case. I don't think we'll get a leak for another 6 minutes, though. Is it actually worth wildcarding this week? No, I think it's worth doing it next week. I think there's a benefit there. No clean sheet for Arsenal for you. Do you not reckon, Ben? Is Bruno G going to play it? I think so, yeah. Connor says, as my team stands, it is Timber, Gabriel, Mukiele, Vert, Semenyo, Bruno Fernandes, Njai, Brobby, Pedro, Haaland, bench of Dubravka, Wilson, Rodon, Hall. Why is Connor, your team's just too good on wildcard, mate. It's too good. Wilson feels like he should start, but I don't know who would be benched. I really don't know who would be benched there. Virgil will score 2 goals. I hope so. How much to donate for you to Captain Soboside? No amount of money ever in the world. That's a lie. No amount. You can't pay me to manage my FPL team. That's what I'm trying to say here. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Wait, so... hold on. Aaron says, wait, so it's either Haaland starts or he gets rested, or will there be a situation where he comes to the bench? The situation with Haaland this week is I definitely think he starts. If there is this thing where Marmouche starts and Pep's resting Haaland, it's most likely Haaland comes off the bench. Yes, mate. Yeah. Virgil will score 2 points, not goals. I was going to say, you're very optimistic when he said about scoring 2. Orange Apple says 100k. Mate, 100k would pretty much change my life, so I probably would do that. Orange Apple, if you have 100k, mate, send it my way. Yeah, Orange, you didn't wildcard. He took a minus 48. Kian says, Enzo Vice. What you think? Enzo Vice isn't that bad. If you have Thiago in your team or Semenyo, I think so. God, please make this man start. Yes, exactly. We need Haaland to be starting. even if he comes off early, like should still get like above 60 minutes, I would say. Da, da, da. Yeah, no leaks. Still, I'm checking every few minutes for yous. Vert over Bruno G. I'd say this week's a really good week for him, actually. I'm going to donate 100k of I can't even say that. Zambian dollars. Zimbabwean. Is it Zambian? Zimbabwean? Any City news for City? Any early news for City? Not at the moment. I'm expecting, if we get anything at all, to be within the next 10 minutes. I don't think we'll get it because of the proximity of the deadline, and the fact nothing's really popping up. Yeah, nothing's coming up. Dubravka or Petrovic? Oh God, Dubravka. Dubravka for me. We have 15 minutes. We do have 15 minutes. Well, 13 minutes and 32 seconds. Your rank, I'm 200,000. That's an amazing rank, mate. I am miles off that. I'm 897k. Something around there. Haaland triple captain? No. Not this week. No. Start Foden or Bruno G? I would start Foden if you still have him. Ibby says Wilson or Virgil van Dijk. I'd probably say Wilson. Yeah. I'm 198k. Brilliant rank. Brilliant rank. The Orange Apple and Connor rivalry is strong in the chat today. Would you start Bowen? Yeah, his fixture's alright. It's still Sunderland, though. We are quite good. Semenyo or Foden for long term? Semenyo. Kind of hope Haaland gets rested this week so people don't focus on Vice, get low points. Yeah, but if Haaland doesn't play this week, he'll probably come off the bench. I mean, if he doesn't start, sorry. Do you know what I mean? We'll start Cherky or Chow. Chow. There is that chance that Cherky doesn't start, which for me is 50-50 between him and Foden. We're still looking at leaks, guys. We're still looking at leaks. There's never beef. Yeah, it's just like a little like banter rivalry, isn't Orange? Captain Enzo, not for me this week, no. Good option this week, but not for captain. Let's have a check for some City leaks. Now we're getting close to the deadline. Still nothing. Will Vandenberg play? It's been a while since he started, hasn't it? Because my little brother has him in his team, and I was saying, well, maybe it's not going to be the case again. He's predicted not to start. I'm 465th in the world. First week, I actually don't know who to captain because of the Haaland risk. I mean, you're absolutely smashing it, Ryan, so whatever you pick, I'm picking. I've still kept Dan Ballard captain. Come on. Come on. Love that, Rowan. Love that, Rowan. Adam says O'Reilly to start. I think he could start. Yeah, Ryan Nori is back though from AFCON, but we could see Ake start there. We could say Rico Lewis on the right. It's so tough. It's so tough. Rice or Anderson mid. I like Anderson this week. I really do, but you'll be kicking yourself if Rice does well. I'd go Rice and just pray that Anderson doesn't do too much. I think he's a great option though this week, Anderson. 200 people here on TikTok. If you are on TikTok, make sure you double tapping the screen. We're almost at 20k likes for the stream. We're hoping to get some City news leaks in the next few minutes. I am trying my best to get some information out of people, but we are being unsuccessful so far. Let's see. Do we trust these City leagues? No, I don't know that account. Nunez to start. Yeah, apparently he's been ill, but I can't really see it myself. I can see Rico Lewis starting there. D sent the rose. Thank you so much, D. If you got a question, D, drop it down in the chat, man. O'Reilly or Van Heck? I'd go Van O'Reilly and hope he starts. Just because of the fixture, man. I have Haaland and Kroupy. Who do you think is the next best attacker to own? Thiago, probably. Just with the really good long-term features. Anderson mid or Ekitike. Pardon me. Probably Ekitike because Bournemouth do concede a lot of goals. You said the Kelleher Sanchez rotation will be great. If I want to bring in Roofs, who should I change? I would have to have another look at the rotation planner as Afram for game week 24 onwards, but I don't know who would be the best to rotate with Robin Roofs. I haven't had a look at that, to be honest. Captain Enzo or Pedro for a punt? I would say Enzo. I think there's more room for, like, there's a high ceiling there, is what I would say. Right, let's keep looking for some City leaks. Make sure you double tap on the screen. Let's have a look. Embuemo, says someone. Embuemo's okay. Not this week, but maybe next. Still not much popping up for City. There's a few accounts that are leaking stuff, but I've never regarded them as, I would say, reliable accounts in my eyes. Nothing's there. Unlucky. FPL newsletter says Haaland and Foden not starting. Oh my god, no way. Oh, okay. Okay, what the hell? Breaking news. Apparently, FPL newsletter, FPL, Lazy FPL on X says Haaland and Foden are not starting, apparently. Everyone panic. Change your captain most likely to your vice, but I'm going to see if that's correct. About Foden. Yeah, Foden could be bench. Haaland could be bench. I'm going to try verify that with my source here. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Leaks about Foden and Haaland bench. / change cap to vice. Right. I'm going to try verify that link for you, but they're normally really, really reliable for this. I'm trying to check it's it though. Let's see. We genuinely could be seeing a situation where Haaland and Foden aren't starting. This is really rough. Max Ayland starting up front. Do we bench Haaland? I don't think I would bench him. But we are in a situation where we've got 5 minutes to the deadline now, and we have to make sense to whether this is genuinely a real leak. Mogs, it means you can put Reinders in. It maybe does. It maybe does, actually. Holy. Maybe Reinders could play. Oh my god, what on earth? Oh, it does Reinders play now from my side. So the news we've had, use this information like to your risk, because there could be a situation where this leak from Lazy FPL is incorrect. Haaland could be benched. Foden could be benched. Okay? Just be careful. That leak could be false, but Lazy FPL is normally really good with leaks. Take that with a grain of salt. Make your decisions based on what you believe. Just because I've reported this leak doesn't mean you have to make any transfers based on those leaks. Okay? You decide if you trust the leak. The decision is on you to click that transfer button or change that captaincy button. For me, Lazy FPL is, in my opinion, a reliable source. Thiago captain. Thiago could be that captain, yeah. Reports at the end of the season. Oh, this is tough, man. This is tough. Yeah, the leak was about Haaland not starting, yeah. Let me do something really quick because this could really help you guys. Let me get this. Mate, this is like, I didn't expect to get a leak like this. This is a crazy leak. Okay, I can't get that screenshot up, but never mind. Thiago captain, Haaland vice? Yeah, potentially. If you believe that leak, then you could. Semenyo captain could be the move this week, actually, yeah. Oh my god, what do I do? Haaland bench, lads. Yeah, he could be. Could be this week. Oh my god, what the hell? The leak is that apparently Haaland and Foden are benched this week, which is crazy. The leaks come from @LazyFPL on Twitter. Now, this account is normally pretty good. I would probably bench both of them. Right, so the Night Manager's algorithm as well, the algorithm I'm partnered with this season, said I would trust @LazyFPL. So we are recommended this week to probably bench both of them, Foden and Haaland. So we're going to make those moves on my team. I don't have... Do I play Reinders? Yeah. Hold on, guys. There's a few minutes to sort my team here. I'm panicking like crazy. Holy shit. Hold on. Right, I'm benching Haaland this week, I think. Oh my god, this is crazy stressful, man. I think I'm benching Haaland this week, guys, with that leak. Who would be my vice is my question. Probably Bruno Fernandes. What the hell, man? Right, I'm benching Haaland now. I've been recommended by my algorithm partner. What the fuck? What the hell, guys? Literally, like, a few seconds to a minute to the deadline. The leak is that Haaland and Foden are both benched. The leak is from @LazyFPL. You can take that leak and believe it if you want. You've got a minute to the deadline. You can take that if you believe it. If you don't, start them instead. Captain Haaland. But for me, I don't think I can play him this week. Get to menu in, I reckon. I think I'm going to stick like this. Yeah, we're doing it. We're benching Haaland this week. What on earth? What on earth? What a crazy turn of events for a game week. This is absolutely mental. Make sure my team's saved. The FPL site is crashed. The FPL site has crashed. Everyone's going absolutely crazy with this news. Oh my days. Oh my days. More leaks. Is there more leaks? There can't be more leaks, surely. There's no more leaks. Right, okay. Right, I've captained Thiago. I've vice-captained Bruno Fernandes. I'm so sorry, on Jack, but I'm really panicking here. -4 to Semenyo, yes or no? I probably wouldn't do that, no. What a crazy, crazy game week. Jesus. What a crazy, crazy game week, guys. Oh, my days. Foden to Semenyo from -4 done. I don't know if I would have done it, but... No, to be fair, Semenyo is not bad. No, honestly, Semenyo is actually all right because he should be starting on that right-hand side. Evan says, Mogs, you look so handsome today. Evan, I'm panicking like hell because apparently Haaland's bench, but we've benched him anyway. Thank you so much, though, Evan. Reinders to start. I've put him in. I've put him in. Oh, what the hell, man? This game week. What on earth, man? Jesus. I was asking Milenkovic to Gehi. It was too late. Would you have done it? Yeah. Yeah. I think I would have. Put your new team on screen. Yeah, okay. Hold on. Sorry, TikTok. My new team's coming in a second here. Where is it? Image. Add. I can't see because my camera's in the way. I'll put the new team on. Oh, fuck's sake. I've got the hiccups now. What the hell? Where's that screenshot gone? What the hell's going on here? But date modified today. Is that the team? Yes, it is. Fit to screen. There we go. Right, TikTok, that is my team for this week. Oh my god. What a crazy week, man. What a crazy week. Oh, this is crazy. So we got the news that Virgil van Dijk and Foden are both benched this week, which is absolutely mental. Not having Haaland, it feels like going out without any boxes on. Mate, it feels scary this week. Chaos. Chaos. Right, can you see my new team there on TikTok, guys? Can you see my new team for this week? What happened? I've missed a lot of the stream. Mate, Haaland and Foden are likely to be benched this week. The website crashed. It did. The website crashed. I almost didn't make these transfers. I hope they've bloody saved because I don't know if it's happened. VVD Virgil van Dijk 2. What? What are you on about? Oh, why do you say Virgil van Dijk? I don't know. Why did I say Virgil van Dijk? Foden and Haaland are not apparently benched. I'm just reading what Connor said there. I might have said Virgil van Dijk. 4 goals for Haaland incoming. Mate, imagine. Imagine. I triple captain Haaland, had a feeling you'd bang. You said Van Dijk. Oh, did I say Van Dijk? Mate, no idea. Both Haaland and Foden benched. Yeah, it's from @LazyFPL. Yeah, ignore the Van Dijk thing. Hi, bro. How you doing, Anthony? Well, GG. Indeed, GG. Indeed. What a crazy leak. Oh my god. Oh my god, last second put in Fernandez for Foden. Yeah, crazy. Foden Semenyo for a -4 is such a bad move. Why that? Do you know what, Orange? I don't think it is. I thought it was just on the glance of it, but honestly, I don't think so. Why didn't you just start Haaland? Because you might get some minutes near the end. I think I'm going to go for Reinders. Crazy, man. Oh my god. I think this is the right move. He played bench boost. No, I didn't. Bench boost was my safety blanket. Marmouche, Cherky, and Semenyo at the start. Rodri, Reinders, Bernardo, Silva midfield, I must say. Yeah, it could be. Did the sources have any reason why they think that? So Lazy FPL has been a very popular and very reliable leaking source on X for a long time now. So yeah, I believe them most of the time when they put leaks out. Haaland bench, is this to get people talking in your live and then we'll change it last minute smart? The deadline's passed and this is my team. I would never lie to you on lives. Do not accuse me of that. Right. Crazy. What a week. What would happen if they lies? Well, one of the biggest FPL newspapers, newsletters would indeed be finished. No one would respect them anymore. Haaland on the bench, bro. Wow, I know. Lazy FPL is the account on Twitter. If you're wondering why I bench Haaland, he's on the bench. So if he comes on and gets 30 minutes of a game, do I want 30 minutes of Erling Haaland or potentially 80 minutes of Reinders this week? Do you know? Pep just tweeted them boy pagan and can't stand them. I don't know if you trust 8-man them. Orange Apple, I actually hope he said that because that would be amazing. Bro, if it's true Haaland is on the bench, I'm cooked. Apparently it's true. I genuinely might get 12 points this week. Haaland hat-trick today. We'll see, man. We'll see. If they're wrong, I swear. Mate, everyone in the FPL space really, really trusts at Lazy FPL for leaks. They have been really, really good for leaks over the course of many seasons. I trust them personally, but like I said, when I give you the information, make the moves with that own risk in mind. I think they're correct, though. What an unbelievable leak. Can I change the title of my TikTok? I can, can't I? Haaland benched. Foden benched. Benched. There we go. We'll save that. Haaland will not be benched. Do you not think so? I think so. I trust the source. Been very reliable for me in the past seasons. I'm trusting them. Can I change that while I'm live? No, I can't. I don't think so anyway. What a crazy, crazy leak to get, man. What the hell, dude? Whoa, I can't believe we got that leak, guys. That is probably the best thing we could have asked for. That's probably the best thing we could ask for this week. Is Lazy FPL isn't on TikTok, it's on X, so Twitter. I've started Haaland just in case. That's fair. That's fair. That is absolutely fair. I went from Turkey captain. Hopefully, I stay in the top 500, man. Ryan, I really hope you do, mate. I really hope you do. Drop me a follow and drop me a message, Ryan, and we'll see how you do for the game week. I might do a video on your team if that's all right. Where is the date on that screenshot? Orange Apple, you're so funny, man. Sean Goat is starting. Haaland on for a second half hat trick. I think he'll come on probably later in the match, to be honest, bro. Why is Haaland on the bench? I don't think he starts. I don't think he starts, sadly, this week. Last 30 for Erling. I think that'll be the move, honestly. I prefer 30 minutes of Haaland than 90 minutes of Cash. Do you agree? I don't think I do. I don't think I do. Not quite. I'm trying to think of where that screenshot is. Is that the one? Why Haaland bench? I don't think he starts. There was a leak that came out about Foden and Haaland being benched. Haaland being benched doesn't mean he won't score, does it? No. It means he absolutely could score coming off the bench. Reliable leak? Yeah. Yeah. What time do lineups come out? Ooh. For City, if it's 3, 1:45, it should come out. Yeah, it's like an hour and 15. Haaland won't be benched. We got a leak about it, Danny. We got a leak about it. Creepy over Evan Nielsen. Evan Nielsen should be on pens now. Tavernier's injured. Didier and Jong might be starting in the 6th today. They have too many injuries. I think Marmouche's back, mate. So we can't change it, bro. It's too late. Yeah, it is too late. Absolutely right. We got the information incredibly late. I told you all, though, we would get it in the last 5 minutes if we got any leak at all, and we absolutely did. Anthony says, Pickford, Michele, O'Reilly, Virgil Rogers, Foden, Palmer captain. Palmer captain, wow. Wilson and Jaibo and Thiago. Nice, Anthony. Nice. He does need to be rested. He's exhausted. He should have been benched against... You're absolutely right. Nothing is going to be leaked. Only Pep knows who the team is. I mean, that's not exactly true at all, actually. But yeah, it might not be true. You're absolutely right. You got to stay alive until 1:45. I need to actually go get ready to go out, but I'll stay on for a bit longer. Let's see how the week goes, man. Crazy game week. Haaland isn't starting. It's been confirmed. Yep, we discussed that just a few minutes ago when the deadline was just about to be passed. Where have the Haaland bench rumours come from? So it's Haaland and Foden that have been leaked to be benched. Okay, the leak, you can find the leak at Lazy FPL on X. Now, Lazy FPL are a very reliable leaking source that have been for about 3 seasons now. Okay, so yes, Haaland can come off the bench. Yes, so can Foden. Doesn't mean you have to trust the leak at all. You trust who you want to trust. You do what with your FPL team you want to do. Okay? Guys, for the people who were coming into the chat just now, let them know why Haaland is on the bench. Who else did we do a transfer from? Bro, I captain Thiago, O'Reilly on my bench. Should have had started O'Reilly instead. I mean, yeah, you could have started O'Reilly. Evan Nielsen. Oh. What a chaotic game week. I'm so happy we got a leak about that. Why no Wilson? I just haven't really had the luxury of that transfer. Pin that to my profile. Why have you benched Haaland? There was a leak that Haaland and Foden got benched. It is on at Lazy FPL on X. You can go check it out for yourself. But they basically confirmed that Foden and Haaland have been benched. They are a very reliable source, have been for the last 3 seasons. I've trusted them this time round. I also passed on the information that, you can take this how you will, but for me, I trusted it. Sunderland lineups out. That looks really interesting, actually. Wow. Thank you for saving me from stop 3 City players. Yeah, it's one of them ones which is just mental. Crazy League, best of luck, everyone. Thank you for the stream, Mogs. I'll catch you in a bit. Take care. Have a good game week, mate. Have a good game week. I'll see you later. We're going to stay on stream, though, for about 5 more minutes, guys. What was the website that said that? It wasn't a website. It was an account on X called @LazyFPL. They are a pretty famous FPL newsletter account that have been active for around 3 to 4 seasons. I believe it's 3 seasons. They give reliable leak information and have done for a while. If you believe them, you believe them. I do personally. But yes, apparently Haaland and Foden have been benched. Benching Haaland? Yes, I've benched Haaland this week. I have indeed. Haaland hat-trick incoming. I mean, it might do. Might do. What rank are you overall? 897k. What a crazy week, guys. What's the Sunderland starting lineup? I just had it before. Hold on. I don't think anyone massive is missing from an FPL standpoint. Just Trey He. Oh, no, Trey Human's playing. Oh, he's captain. Wow. Apparently, Jacques is not playing. Wow. Is that real? Apparently, Jacques is not playing for Sunderland today. That is the big news there as well. Mukele, Ballard, Alderete, Ronaldo, Hume, Siddiqui, Lefay, Mundell, Mayenda, Brobby, and obviously Robin Reeves. Xhaka not in the team, it looks. Wow. What rank do you think you need to be an FPL TikToker? You could be the worst manager in the world and you can make FPL TikTok videos. Literally does not matter. Obviously, it helps to be good at FPL, but, as long as you're good at conveying information to people, I think that's pretty good. I'm top 100k right now. Unreal. Unreal. Yeah, Josh, you're probably right, mate. Even if that info isn't what's wrong. What do you mean? Why is Haaland bench? We got a leak that Haaland and Foden aren't starting today. What a mental leak that is, though. I'm so glad that you guys carried on watching the stream. As I told you, we would probably get something, and we did. Apologies, guys, if that was loud. Thoughts on Palmer, captain? It's not too bad now Haaland isn't in the picture. Thiago, for me, was my favourite one behind Haaland this week. It's weird to me that people do content that are not well ranked. Yeah, but anyone can make content about whatever they want. Why has KSI actually cooked? He dropped Haaland weeks ago and has now proven a genius move. Mate, unbelievable. Unbelievable. The leak may be false. Yeah, could be. You got the leak from where? At Lazy FPL on X. They are a very reliable FPL newsletter. Thoughts on Harry Wilson, captain? Wow, that's a big differential, Lassie. I hope that works out for you, man. I think he's a really good option this week. What happens on FPL if your vice and captain don't play? You just don't get any double points that week, sadly. What a mental time, man. What a mental time. Yeah, big shout out to at Lazy FPL, man. What an unbelievable FPL newsletter. What counts as 1% this year? 120k is top 1% guess the footballer. Can I ask, what does Lazy FPL cop get his info? Oh, where does he get his info from? I actually don't know. They've got links around different clubs and obviously sources. KSI is buying advice from FPL experts, but I just can't. I mean, yeah, he probably has some influence from them, but I think he is just managing his own team. He's doing an unbelievable job. Thanks to Lazy FPL, absolutely. You know, KSI smashed it with selling KSI a few weeks ago. What a move that was. What a move. Jesus, man. Jesus. I'm getting rid of Haaland next week on a wild card. I don't think I would do that. Unless Mohamed Salah looks unbelievable and back to his best and Liverpool don't look shit, Haaland will be staying. Why have you benched him? Because he's not starting. Right, everyone on TikTok, I'm going to keep streaming over on my YouTube channel, and we're going to talk a little bit more about what's happened with this leak and where it's from. So please head over to my YouTube channel. The link is in the bio of the TikTok. Head over through the link tree, click YouTube, join me on my FPL live stream on YouTube. We're going to talk about this more, okay? Going to tell you all the information about what's happened with this leak and why I've benched Erling Haaland. So make sure you go over to the YouTube live stream right now. Click the link in the bio on TikTok, guys. I'll see you over there. Head over right now. Right, YouTube. We're going to discuss this because what a crazy, crazy leak we had today. That is one of the craziest leaks we've had in seasons' time. Honestly. Mental. Started Haaland because my bench off Foden, Voltemade, and Van der Berg. Right decision. Yeah, I mean, benching Haaland for me was a last-minute decision, but putting him first on my bench for me is pretty good in my eyes because I can look at my team and go, well, let's say if this player doesn't play, Haaland's on the bench first. So, yeah. Is Cherky starting in the 10? I don't think so. I think it'll be Marmoush starting up front. Possibly. Well, to be fair, he probably will do. He probably will do. And then we'll have... So it'll be, I reckon it'll be Semenyo on the right, Doku on the left, Marmoush up top. In the middle will be Cherky next to Bernardo Silva. Then Rodri. And then the team almost picks itself from centre-backs to goalkeeper. But right-back, left-back, I really don't know. I have Captain Cherky. Nice. I haven't been able to be in the live stream much today, but I hope it all goes well for everyone. Enjoy your weekends. Enjoy yourself, Joshua. Have a great game week, mate. Have a great game week, bro. Oh my god, I keep clicking the wrong buttons. I just hope and pray that my team's saved. If my team didn't save, I'll be fuming. What could you win for being top 1%? I'm afraid nothing, Connor. I'm afraid nothing. You just have a really good rank in that case. You just have a really good rank. So what was the leak? The leak was, which I will get up now for you guys, actually. This is why I wanted you guys on TikTok to come over to YouTube so I could show you this. Right, so here's what happened. 37 minutes ago, we got the leak that Haaland and Foden are not starting this game week. Okay, this is from @LazyFPL. Now, why I've believed them, why Night Managers, my algorithm this week and for the season said to believe them, is because of their track record. Okay? Their track record is unbelievable. Let's see if we can pull this up now. So, at Live FPL's success rate on leaks is, I think, up here. 90, I'll put it on the screen. So their percentage is 96% correct. That City, that 96% right that their leaks are correct. So City's leak today looks really, really great. This is exactly what we've had in the past from them, though. This is exactly what we've had from the past in terms of leaks. 96% of the time, they are correct. 96% of the time, FPL newsletter, Lazy FPL, is correct. So that's why we've done the moves we've done this week. Foden to Bruno Fernandes was last night. And, of course, DCL to Evan Nielsen. And then Haaland benched. Crazy. Absolutely mental. Right, folks. I hope that explains everything. I will catch you through the week with FPL content, so make sure you are subscribed. And I will see you in the next one. Right. Catch you all later. Have a brilliant and fantastic game week. Wait until you hear that from the delay, then I'll end the live. But what a crazy week, guys. What a crazy week. I'll see you all later, yeah? Bye now.